Hey!
Welcome to Bag It or Slab It, the Comics Cube show where we tell you what you should read and what you should just avoid because it's trash. Today, I am joined by my good friend Nick Gray, who I'm
Hey!
at his house, so that's easy. And that is Ed Gibson. Hopefully,
Howdy, everybody.
his mic.
Yeah, I unmuted my mic.
You're brilliant.
Well, that's the
Smart
nicest thing
guy.
you said about me.
Ooh.
What?
Now, on tonight's show, we're going to be grading some papers.
Oh, that's easy.
No, we've done enough of that today.
Some of you students did a good job. Others.
Not so much.
The majority of you were also here.
Teaching students. So,
All right. Well, with that, let's get right into it. I think the first book we have up is A Pick of the Week. Me and Sean both read this book.
had two different titles. We're going to show you the I Hate This Place #1 title, but there was another title that was not safe for work.
And Ed, you didn't read this one, right?
No, I didn't. I actually I put this one back. It was a big week to begin with. So
It was. I didn't actually have this on my radar. Mike kept saying, like, I didn't realize he was referring to a book, but he just kept saying it over and over when I was in the shop. So I was real confused, and then I realized it was a book he was getting. And then, Sean brought it over to my house, and I read it right after him.
Yeah.
And story, really liked it. Well written, interesting story. Couple goes, they inherit from great aunt or something. Yeah,
like met one time and like when she was a child.
Yeah, so it wasn't a complete mystery, but like, she knew she did exist, met this aunt, and all of a sudden she left this cabin to her,
like a farm.
Yeah, with cattle, with 100 head of cattle or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually say how many head of cattle it is, but their plan is they're going to go and they are going to spend a year homesteading at this cabin, and then sell the cattle, make all the money, and then sell the farm.
Yeah.
And
we got everything's free. We just inherited everything. We'll keep it for the year to get the cattle ready to go to slaughter. Then once we're done with the cattle, we'll make that money. We'll sell the joint, and then we'll use all the money for our dreams.
Yeah.
If only things were ever that easy.
But yeah, get there and find out. Spooky, crazy. You don't exactly know what's going on in the place. But very interesting story. Not sure what's going on.
Yeah, it's very supernatural. The very first part is drama.
Yes.
Drama. And then it turns into some
very supernatural,
weird crap.
Yeah.
And I give this one a big thumbs up. The art, though,
the art is the thing.
Incredibly inconsistent.
Could take you out of it. There is on one page the same girl, I believe, drawn 3 different ways. And at first glance, I didn't realize it was the same person in 3 different panels. So the art was really rough. The supernatural stuff looked good.
Yes.
The regular day-to-day art, or just the people and that is where I got like thrown off. So like there's a scene where a girl takes off her jacket, and just like her entire body type changes.
Yes. What was hidden underneath the jacket was not under there a second ago.
It's overly comic book, overly animated. Like, I rip off my jacket and all of a sudden I'm a huge like muscle monster. When there's supernatural in this book, but it's not exactly that kind of hokey, rip off my jacket and my body shape. But so that part was weird. The art could take you out of it. Wouldn't even say that this cover is great. The story, though, I'll definitely read #2. Yeah. I need to know, what's up with the Facts of Life. They have a whole room of VHS types of the entire Facts of Life series.
It looked like there's just it looked like there was a secret room in the house to keep them safe.
Yeah.
And it was filled with videotapes from top to bottom.
Yeah. So I think just to tune out the crazy.
So.
Ed, I would say pick this up. I think you should give it a check.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bag it for me for sure.
Oh, 100% bag it.
Absolutely.
I pulled this week. I got Hit Me 3, which we're going to talk about later. Alice Ever After, we're going to talk about here a little bit. Kaiju Score. Kaiju Score in issue 2 was a little bit of it wasn't as good as the first issue. I needed something extra in it. I still enjoyed it, but I definitely thought that this issue needed something else going on to really make it great for me.
I liked it.
But I liked it. I felt like it was not as solid of an issue as the first issue.
Sure.
I hate this place we just talked about. Savage Avengers. Picked up Savage Avengers #1. We discussed last week. Conan may be leaving Marvel. May get to keep him. May get to keep him for like this book or whatever's going on. But he's in this book.
He might finish the 6-issue arc or something, and that might be it.
Yeah,
I got a feeling this might be a pretty limited series. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe they're taking Conan. They're taking Deathlock. They're taking.
Again, I got to read this last week, and I've had a week to ponder it, and it just didn't blow me away. It's the team is just so odd of Cloak and Dagger and Conan,
Anti-Venom.
Eddie Brock and or is it Flash Thompson?
Flash Thompson and Anti-Venom,
is Anti-Venom.
Yeah.
It's a weird team. It's a weird mix.
Somebody else too. I can't remember who else is on the team.
It's Deathlock's against them.
Yeah, he's like
a time variance cop now.
Yeah.
Does it have the Elektra as Daredevil? Is she on this?
Yes,
Daredevil.
Okay. Yeah, I was like,
but you had so many characters in the first issue that instead of like spending 2 or 3 issues putting the team together, it was like they're all together in one issue.
They didn't have 2 or 3 issues to do this. They lose Conan in 6.
We got to speed this up, man.
I don't know. It was interesting. The team, I felt like I agree with him. You needed a minute to get an issue to get the team more cohesively together. But then at the end, they're not together. So I don't know what's going on.
I'll tell you what it was better than, though.
It was better than that next book on my list. X-Men Red 2. I read it. It's a book that I consumed. I didn't dislike it as much as Sean. There is like 3 solid pages of good material in that book.
I said, back last week when I just barely mentioned it, there's 3 I don't know about, but whatever that Storm page is, that's
at least
a good page.
2 pages.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's on Ed's list. We'll let him.
But if you're a big X-Men fan, you may love it. Again, I didn't care about Vulcan and like why he wanted to cry. But he needed a hug. Mommy, he needed his mommy. Breakout #2, we're going to talk about that here in a minute, I believe. A Town Called Terror 2. You know what X-Men Red was better than? A Town Called Terror 2.
Wow. I skipped A Town Called Terror 2.
If you like Universal Horror Monsters, mystery, I can recommend you other books.
I was like, I like these things. You got my interest.
You learn about more. I think it's a town of monsters. Like there's I think the Frankensteins are all like meth dealers. I think. If I don't know.
You want a horror book that has those elements in it, go read West of Sundown.
Yeah.
Don't read A Town Called Terror. I didn't even bother to read issue 2.
Yeah,
one was an out for me for the most part. And after thinking about it until this issue came out, and I read, I had a smaller week than I've had, but that had 0 interest in me reading that book.
I thought maybe there's a chance that
they're just
something
pull around.
Yeah, I doubt I'll be talking about The Town Called Terror issue 3.
Number 3 ain't in anybody's list. So.
If Ed reads 2, I will read 3.
This is a trash.
But yeah, this is definitely
I think with issue 3, I ordered 2 copies, and that was because I sold 3 this time, and I'm like, well, Nick's not buying the next other one, so
if it's on the shelf, I may pick it up just to look inside the front cover and be like, yep, okay. No.
That's still a book.
I will say, surprise book for the week for me, Shadow Warzone #1. I had not been reading the Shadow Warzone, anything about it, or the Batmans and Robins. I really enjoyed this book. A couple of different short stories. Art was really good. So it made me, I liked it enough. I'm actually interested in continuing this one on and possibly grabbing some of the other stuff that's leading into the Shadows.
It's been really good. The Batman stuff's been selling incredibly well. Yep. I keep up on Robin. It tied into it. It was really good. They also gave you a big reveal with a Robin character that's been going on in the Robin book, how he's related to Talia and Deathstroke and Damian. That was really interesting and well put together. I enjoyed that. There's a Black Canary story with a character that's just been introduced recently, but her first cover appearance was in one of the Shadow Warzone books, so that was kind of a big deal. I had people asking for those. So yeah, Batman Shadow Warzone.
That one is a buy and definitely a bag it for me on that one. Breakout 2, I think we all three read this.
I did.
Continues on the story. I thought again this one was better than 1.
Ed, you're the kind of genre.
I definitely it was, you know, we talked briefly before, it's every heist cliche, and I ate it up as I was going through. I mean, we can't get this to happen, then make it happen. Do this, you know, and then the group falls apart, and before the end of that issue, the group's right back together with, you know, one rousing speech kind of deal, and but their timeline gets moved up quite a bit.
Well, you got to throw in the weird thing that messes it all up to make it more dramatic.
Right. So I really still enjoyed it. I know you both and we all kind of talked about how there were some layouts in that first issue that were like, wait, which am I going up, left, right, up, down? Like, what are we doing here? I don't think that was an issue here. There was only one page that seemed to be a double page, like, you know, 12 panel layout where you went across both pages, but they kind of worked that kink out. The art still's really well done. An interesting twist with someone that wants to kind of bankroll them.
Yeah.
You know, that was a bit more surprising because I expected that we're shutting you down, not the we want in. Like we want in. We want to help you.
I thought this was a better book than the first issue. I thought it improved. The artist, writer, whoever put those panel layouts together and designed it, stopped trying to be creative. There's a time to be creative, and some people can pull it off. They very clearly showed in issue 1 they didn't have that skill yet. But story-wise, yes, this one, other than, you know, cliches were happening, they were still cliches in a manner that were interesting. And for me, this definitely upped the bar in the first issue and has me much more interested now in going into a third issue.
Issue 3 should kick off and be very interesting from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like we're in the heist mode at breakout heist, you know, whatever, however we want to look at it. So for me, I definitely say this would be a bag it for me.
Definitely a bag it for me. I could see them also kind of delaying all right, we want to see what they're going to do, and maybe giving us a solid flashback for like half the issue, or moving to another group that's doing something, you know, as they go into the heist, and being like, okay, I'm trying to keep my expectations on that to be like, yeah, we should see them go full heist. But knowing this is, I think, 5 issues and we're about to reach that midway point, I think if they're in full heist for 3 issues, it might stretch out a little bit. So I imagine that we'll get something that kind of delays it. Yeah, something that delays it in a way.
I could easily see them doing the next issue as what has happened to the brother that's disappeared in his time. Because how many issues is this?
5.
Is it 5?
It's 5, and I think they even said, like, once you're up there for, is it 6 weeks? Is that it? Like you disappear. Like you get
mulched.
Yeah, for all there's such little video, they know a lot about what goes on up there. Like they know a lot.
Yeah, that part was a little surprising.
Well, without it, though, you don't have a heist. Like, you got to have enough information to pull off the heist. Kind of.
But it also has me wondering, like, how much of that information has been fed maybe by these machines?
Well,
you know, like, hey, we're saying this because it's going to get more of you to come at us.
Gotcha.
I'm expecting a twist.
Looks
this
like
was a big week.
The big list this week.
Yeah,
I think I had some of these last week.
Yeah, so. Ed read every X book there was because he's a fan.
Pretty much. Hit Me, we're going to talk about, as well as Alice Ever After. We just talked about Breakout. I was with you with Kaiju Score. I felt a little less enthused on this one. I still love it. I love the art and the whole concept. Again, like, the timeline and the heist gets moved up. Like, okay, we've got months to prepare. You have 2 weeks. Holy shit, we can't get this done in 2 weeks. And I'll admit, when I got to that last page, because of how great the back matter was in the first one, I was like, what do we got this time? And there was nothing. And I felt let down that there was no back matter.
I would have even liked more of her diary.
Yeah.
I would have more like her diary journal passage or whatever it was. Like,
I need more Gardner.
Yeah. I would have loved that to be like the last page, like on every issue, just like, her day journal.
Give us, what maybe like her journaling, what they've been doing, like even in the issue.
Yeah, her dream board. I don't know.
Shaolin Cowboy was a big trash hit from me. I don't know if either one of you read this.
No.
I didn't.
Great Mignola cover, not at all great Mignola style story. It is someone who's somewhat of a like monk, warrior traveling in the desert, yet lizards and giant and other animals all talk, and he's being followed by like this Gila lizard. What's that?
I think this is a long-running book.
I was very underwhelmed. I got thrown by that Mignola cover thinking like, cool, this could be something, in that verse, something related to this. And the art was almost similar to Frank Quietly, and I'm not a fan. And so like every page I was like, okay, this is really great and detailed, but some of it's just like dinosaurs exist and it's just a thing. Oversized hamsters and other things all exist. And I don't know. I could have probably done. I would have rather picked up I Hate This Place and put Shaolin Cowboy back on the shelf.
Wow.
So I loved Eternals. I've been enjoying Kieran Gillen's run there, and it's leading into the whole Judgment Day.
Jeff Jarrett did Shaolin Cowboy.
Okay.
He did Rusty and the Big Robot, stuff like that. So he's been doing Shaolin Cowboy for like years, decades. So he's been around a long time. This is series of limited series. So I think I put that in your folder because it had like a kaiju or something on the cover or something.
Well, mine didn't have one on there, or maybe it did. Maybe it had like a giant crab. There's no giant crab. There's no giant crab. Now, like I said, dinosaurs exist, and like they very much animals grow oversized in this universe, kind of thing. But I was not overall impressed. Like your main character that talks about through everything is like this semi-newborn Gila monster that its father fights the cowboy. So I don't know, trash it. That's where I was on that.
Wow,
gotcha.
So Fantastic Four, some great Doctor Doom stuff. Nick, I know he's your man. He had some nice features in this one.
I almost picked that one up, and I need to go back and probably pick it up.
Excellent number 3. I'm a Mike Allred fan, and I loved the Ecstatics in that run that he did with Peter Milligan. And so this is, revisiting that world, updated for the 21st century. You read Patch last week, Sean. You said you enjoyed it. I did not enjoy issue 2 as much as issue 1.
Really?
It was still good, but there was part of it where I was like, okay, I almost had to get issue 1 out to be like, what was he doing again? Because and maybe it's just the sheer volume of books I'm reading at this point where I can't seem to recall
there's a
what's
lot
happening
of
in all of them.
In that book, as I recall, though. You got like Nick Fury, you got Wolverine as Patch, you've got 2 Russian mutants, you've got a 3rd Russian mutant that's helping, you've got the natives, you've got a guy out trying. I mean,
there's a lot of characters that get dumped.
So
yeah. Wolverine, X-Force, New Mutants, all were really good. New Mutants actually sets up quite a bit. Like it's revisiting some Inferno stuff. Ileana is going to be, she's trying to hand over Limbo to Madeline Pryor and be like, it's yours. You're going to rule it.
You get it now.
But some things go wrong because nothing ever goes right in Limbo. I enjoyed X-Men Red, but like I said, I'm enjoying the whole X line. I get why, like, if you're not entrenched in the Krakoa stuff and enjoying it, you're not going to enjoy this book. You're right. The best parts are Storm explaining to Vulcan, like, you were an emperor, I'm a goddess. Let me show you what that means. And she almost kills him. But, it was enjoyable. We learned a little bit more about the Fisher King, Nick's new favorite mutant.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he can get me to read 3.
But I loved, my big one this week was Immortal X-Men. The Quiet Council has been my favorite thing in the Krakoa era. Give me a secret society that rules everything and is like, no, we're totally not doing anything against any of you, but we secretly, seriously are. I love the Illuminati that Marvel did. And this is, everyone knows who's on the council, but unless you're on the council, you don't get to know what they're doing. And so here is like the book that's focusing on them ruling the country. And they all actually fought like a giant kaiju as well in this one. There's a reoccurring theme in my books, but
seems like interesting government form.
Yeah, I spent a good couple of hours going through my pull list this week. So I think Alice Ever After
was a lot better than X-Men Red. So.
So I know Nick and I read this. Sean, did you get to Alice Ever After?
I did.
Yeah, we read it on my porch or my back patio.
There you go.
I mean, if you like the first issue, I think you're going to like the second issue. Their
art continues to be really good in this.
Yeah,
even like
well.
I love in the margins the little doodles and like details in the margin on those pages. Art's great. It's a story about madness.
It is. I liked how when you see her in the sanitarium and she's meeting all the patients, like obviously every patient is analogous to like a character from Alice in Wonderland or Through the Looking Glass, and even the administration. I definitely don't trust her new friend. Like I didn't trust him from the start, and even now that she's in this situation she's in, I don't know that I trust him there either.
He's a prince.
Yeah. We'll see. No, it wasn't a prince. He's what is he actually?
Duke?
No, it wasn't a duke. Oh, what did she say he was? What did he say he was? Baronet?
Yes, maybe
something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I find that it's an interesting book. Period piece with Alice in Wonderland twist. Like if that character was a person and kind of like the madness that she possesses and how it affects her family in the real world, and I enjoy it. Again, the art's beautiful. I'll read the whole run of this.
Stop blowing me away. Again, if you like Alice and you like that trippy kind of a feel to it, this is doing a really good job with it and introducing it into a real world perspective of sanitariums and insanity and family politics and all that kind of thing. My only real question here is who does the new dude represent? Because everybody seems to represent somebody from the Alice story.
Right.
I don't know who the new guy is supposed to represent. Everybody else is pretty like the two wardens are. That's just
Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Yeah.
It's like, okay, I don't know who that guy's supposed to be, and I don't know that well to know who to go.
Well, and at first I thought he might be the White Rabbit, but then
no, the White Rabbit,
somebody else that's like checking the time constantly, and so I wasn't really sure either.
No,
but I don't know. Interesting. It's a gorgeous book.
It is.
Sean, you read fewer books this week.
I did. Well, what I didn't do was I didn't go read DC and Marvel for this week. I decided this week I would take that off so we can all catch up together. But my thing has been every day I'm reading a issue of Star Slayer from beginning to end, including letters, pages, every aspect of the comic I've been reading. And so this is a book from started in 1982, and now I'm into 83. And I am enjoying it quite a bit. Starts off with Mike Grell doing the art and story. He eventually drops does like an issue more 2 of art. John Ostrander comes on as writer. We get a new artist for like 3 issues, maybe 4. And then with today's issue 14, John Ostrander's writing it and Truman is doing the art. And his art is spectacular. The backup story is now Grimjack. And I've known about Grimjack forever, but I've never read Grimjack. And maybe it just took to this point in my life for me to really come to a point where Truman's art really appeals to me. But man, that's really good. In fact, I know there's a Grimjack series, and after this, I'm going to have to contemplate picking up a Grimjack run.
I can help you because I've got a lot of Grimjack books that I need to offload. So you and I should talk.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna be in the market to pick up a Grimjack run based purely on Star Slayer. Hit me number 3. Do we have a tag for this? Or
we do. Okay. That's our last book.
Last one.
Count Crowley, Amateur Midnight Monster Hunter number 2. Didn't sell in the store nearly as well as number 1. Greatly disappointing me. This is such a fun book. More people need to be checking it out. This is the second series. Down on her luck newspaper or news woman in a very small town, drunk, loses her job, even though the family owns
The paper.
the thing, and like her brother's one has to fire her. She ends up as the new Elvira ghoul person, and then finds out that the old guy who's disappeared that had the job as the crypt keeper of that sort of the Sammy Terry of that region was an actual monster hunter, and is now finding out that monsters are real, and she has to deal with them. But she's still, you know, she's drunk, and she has a lot of her own problems. But there's good drama. There's very great humor. The artwork's fun. The whole book is wonderful. I highly recommend it.
If I can find issue 1, I'll definitely check that out.
I've got the trades on order for the first series.
Easy.
The Fox is a Archie superhero character. It was a one-shot, complete pass. Don't bother unless you just love that character. But he's, you know, a golden age character kind of deal. He predates Archie himself, and it just wasn't good. Breakout, I enjoyed. Thought it was great. Alice Ever After, I thought was good. But again, I might keep reading it just if you guys are reading it to keep up with you to talk about it. But otherwise, I'm a pass on it. Kaiju Score, I think was more entertained with it than you guys were. So it worked for me. I think if I remember correctly, you got the layout of like the whole area.
Yes.
The monster. And like, so the idea is they're going down the monster's throat to get the treasure out of its guts. And I'm like, well, that's cool.
You get a classic like schematic.
There's only probably 2 ways out.
Rocketeer 1 and 2. I love the Rocketeer, so this is a must for me. I had actually sold out of number 1. I was able to get them both in at the same time. If you like Rocketeer, I don't see why you're not going to like this book. But I have to also admit, as much as I like it, it's not breaking any new ground. There's nothing special or new or spectacular. It's just more Rocketeer. And then Colorless Volume 1 was the first manga I have read in forever. It's one of those digest-sized thick books. The idea is that the world got hit with a weird solar flare thing called the Mercy, and it literally sucked the color out of the world. There is no color left, and people also mutated like on the spot. Everybody's got weird, funky looks to them. And the guy on the cover here is a scientist who is slowly but discovering patches of color and what they do with the world. It's a sci-fi post-apocalyptic kind of a thing, like a Blade Runner post-apocalyptic kind of thing. Though. So maybe post-apocalyptic isn't the right word, but a far future where something has happened. Society didn't crumble, but it has changed completely. And he discovers that his favorite tea girl, who makes his favorite tea, has disappeared, has been kidnapped. He tracks her down and finds out she looks completely normal. She looks like a human before the Mercy. So it was pretty interesting. Well, you find out that not everybody's colorblind because he has actually collected color aspects of things that are quite powerful, and he is weaponized. So I highly recommend it. It was really good. Black and white throughout with just a hint of color here and there.
Is it one solid or is it a multi-issue?
Multi-issue.
Okay.
So, but the first issue is really good. I'm going to start trying to read a manga every couple of weeks.
Ooh, I read this last week 30
volumes or something.
38 volumes of manga.
Yeah.
As well as a short novel, 30 comics, and like 8 trades.
That's one of my issues with manga when people talk about it and they go on and on about it and how it's destroying the world. My problem is these are $9.99 to like $14.99 volumes if you buy them outright, and they read almost as fast as a normal comic book. They read very quickly. Like to read 38 volumes, I'm not saying that you sped read them, but I'm gonna guess that they didn't take more than an hour a piece at most to read a fairly thick volume. So
they average about 100 to 200 or 180 pages, 200 pages.
Yeah.
So
good stuff, but I would not want to get wrapped up in a ton of them. I'm looking for a Gundam one. That's what I'm looking for.
I'm sure you'll be able to find it.
I'm looking for something that's Gundam related, so I'm still on the lookout for it.
I believe last up this week is Hit Me Volume 3. Ed, this is probably
I want to start. I was upset when I went into the shop on Friday. I took out my pull list, which was massive, and I've got all these books. And you know what was not in my pull list? Hit Me number 3. Why was Hit Me not my pull?
Because you don't like it.
But we're reading it for the show. You
Turns out you don't have to read stuff you don't like. You've said you don't like this book.
We even said on the last one.
Read, so your
we
opinion
even
is
said on the last
validated.
time that we were going to read this book, and I was going to read it too.
Yeah, I just
we were all reading it.
All right, then I apologize. I will make sure that issues 4 and 5, because it's only a 5-issue series, will be in your folder.
It's going to be at your booth.
All right. What's that?
Yeah, if you're just going to resell them, they'll bring it back to me, and I'll find somebody to buy them.
You'll get it back. You got 1 and 2 back.
All right. So, what did you
I thought it was better. I enjoyed it. Other than the one criticism I think Nick, you and I both said we had with it, the story's definitely developing and like at a fast pace. Like we thought it was deep before, and it just gets deeper and deeper. Like she is in to the point where I don't know how she gets out of this alive.
Yeah.
And that is one of the things I like.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I sometimes don't like about modern comic books. It's one of the few things. They are so stretched out that what was traditionally a 2 to 3 part story is now a 6 to 9 part story in modern comics. This feels like you're going at a breakneck speed and stuff's happening.
She's on a timetable,
to
resolve what's going on, and with the limited issues and the way that this is written, you feel. I don't know how she's going to pull this off, because I don't know how we resolve this in 2 more issues. Right. I don't know how. I feel the time crunch with the character. So art, beautiful, continues to be very good. I enjoy the story, new layers to it. The thing the kind of issue that Ed brought up is that she, after she gets betrayed by a friend in a previous 2.
Very beginning of issue 2, she
goes to track down more friends. But I think in the same aspect, the only way she can accomplish anything is by trying to get other pieces of information.
You got to trust somebody, and you're not going to get anywhere.
And I think that as you look at it, she there's the air of not full trust. I'm going to you, you're a friend, but now I've been betrayed. I don't know.
Right. She's not telling him everything like she did that first one where she's like, so-and-so showed up. This guy's dead. They started shooting. She's just like, hey, what can you tell me about this thing?
A piece of information.
Yeah.
So,
but it definitely was like really? You're going to go to more friends? Like a lot more friends after your closest friend straight up looked you in the eye and said, screw you, I need money.
I don't know if it was her closest friend. I definitely got the impression that the older woman that she goes to visit this time,
mom,
is a much closer friend. But I would be leery. I wouldn't be giving out. And I think you see that she doesn't give out too much information herself, though. Like she's now keeping it pretty close to the chest. And there's nobody but herself now to really get done over wrong. So,
But that means she's also without her bodyguard at this point too.
She is without her bodyguard at this point, though.
That's what I mean. She's on her own to the point
where you read
where,
1 and 2, right?
But that's what I mean. She's now completely yes, she's able to get around a little bit easier, but she's also I don't have anybody looking out for me. It is solely me.
This is definitely a bag it for me.
Yeah.
This is I'm gonna read all 5 of this, and then the store will carry this trade. This trade will be pretty regularly.
I don't know what a Hit Me Volume 2 and we're not even done with this, but I don't know what a Hit Me Volume 2 would look like.
It's just a new story with her.
But this is this is definitely one that they announced Hit Me Volume 2, a new 5-issue. Based off of the first 3 issues,
I'd almost wish they don't do a 5-issue. I wish they do a 1-shot, even if it's a $4 or $5.99 oversized 1-shot, and don't stick to a formula of 5. Tell a story that tells. So if it's a 2-parter, do it in 2 parts. Hit me again.
I'd be interested to see some of her stuff before this, her forming some of those relationships that we see her starting to explore here, like you said, the one that's basically second mom or first mom because real mom disappeared.
Real mom.
What's the story of her meeting that lady and forming that bond, and what kind of trouble did they get into together?
Lots of it.
So
yeah, pretty varied week, I think, across the board for us this week. So, Ed had the definitely heavy X-Men, but Sean had that last week. So, some good stuff there. Again, the Shadow War book really struck me. That's 100% would be a bag it.
And
I'd be tempted to be a slab it for me.
This week you're getting Deathstroke and Robin as parts of that, and I think we're already out of Deathstroke. And Robin, I still have a few copies left of in the store. We also get Batman Fortress #1 this week, so that's on my list. And I haven't even seen the Marvel and other stuff yet, so it looks to be like it's going to be a good week. I'm pretty excited.
All right. Well, with that being said, I think that's the end of the slides. Ed, what is your question of the week?
Oh, I'm coming up with the question of the week this week.
On the spot.
Yeah, what is it?
All right. I know. I think Sean and I have talked about this before, but you are being sentenced to a maximum security prison in some comic book universe.
Ooh.
Which one are you going to? Like, are you going to Arkham? Are you going to Blackgate? Are you going to, the Vault? Are you going to the one that's in the negative zone? Are you? I don't know. Are you going to wherever Hellboy puts his enemies, which I think is a bullet in the head?
I think I got mine.
All right, what do you got, Nick?
I'm going to Arkham. It's easy to get out of.
Well, it is.
I mean,
if you can get out alive, though.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, you're going to be working for somebody if you're going to Arkham.
True, but I mean, it's like a revolving door at that place.
What's Central Cities?
Oh, it was Iron Heights. Central Cities was Iron Heights.
I think I'm going to go with either Iron Heights or the Raft. They're both on Earth. They're secure enough that I'm probably not going to get killed by other inmates immediately. I don't need to escape. That's not happening. I'm not a supervillain. So I'm in there for some white collar crime. So I'm not probably going to do a short stint. But Arkham, you're going to get gassed or something.
I don't want to be.
They're going to end up with
Arkham.
We need a comic guy on the Suicide Squad. The Action Comics with the code from World War II that'll save the world is in it. And we're going to screw that, man. I'm out.
I don't want to go to Arkham because even just going to the cafeteria, like the level of death has increased. Like, what if I accidentally?
It's amazing it hasn't been shut down. I guess.
What if I take the last roll and Joker hasn't come in yet? I'm not getting past lunch.
I think it was one of the comics, Batman. They're talking about Arkham, and I forget what Batman says. He's like, I don't need him to do that. I need him to do their job and keep them in there. And I'm like, how about Billionaire Boy buys Arkham and makes it so that they stay in there? I'm like, I feel like you have the money.
Maybe Batman should just be a warden. If you give up all this other crap you're doing and just become the warden, maybe they stop escaping all the time and you don't have to go track them down again.
But all right. So
I'm probably going to go with the Raft. It's a lot of C and D list villains, and some of them can hurt me. Absolutely. I get that. But I'm not going to be in there with Magneto. I'm not going to be in there next to, there's not a deactivated Ultron that's sitting there. It's the Wrecking Crew. And as long as I'm like, you guys are the toughest ones in here, nobody's going to mess with you. They'll be like, that's right, we are. I'm like, great, yes, we are. Okay, great. I'm in with the Wrecking Crew. Here we go. Rhino, I can play cards with on, activity hour.
Just make sure you
all
lose.
Good. Yeah. Oh yeah, I will always lose everything I do. Don't get me wrong.
I'm gonna win. Here's my cupcakes.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a bunch of C and D listers who not very bright, but I don't have to worry about them being like, I'm just going to murder you because you blinked. Killer Croc's not hungry and looking at me because there's no more pudding in the cafeteria line.
Give me that cupcake, kid.
What do you got? Where are you going?
I think Iron Heights and
Central City.
Yeah, because it's the Rogues. They're known for not for them to do something bad is a major event.
They don't kill. They don't kill women and children. That was their big thing.
Oh, okay. It was no, he killed somebody. I just read that Rogues comic.
One, that was a black label, and two, that was them not in jail. So yeah,
I don't think many of them are going to make it out of that either.
No, I think that's the death sentence.
I'm still excited to see read issue 3 of that.
Yeah, well, that's it. That's the end of that one.
Yeah, I know, but
3. I thought it was going 4 or 5. Really?
Yeah, I think it's only 3 issues.
Pretty sure it's only 3.
So
man, all right.
All right. Well, thanks for checking out the show, everybody. We greatly appreciate it. You can pick up everything we've talked about at Comics Cubed. Get a subscription at Comics Cubed at 121 East Sycamore in the beautiful heart of downtown Kokomo. You'll get a 10% discount. Be groovy.